Now we will learn about list or storing multiple values in Python variables. The objectives are understanding what lists are, learning the list creation, indexing and slicing, and finally learning the list operation and its methods. So what is a list? In Python program, a list is a ordered collection of items, and a list can store multiple data in a single variable. Previously we saw in a single variable we could hold or we could store one single data like one string or one number or one boolean value, right? But in list we can store multiple values in a single variable. Let's deal with the list. Here I defined some list in Python. Let's copy this program and paste into the VS Code. Here I created one new program, pylist.py. So here I will paste this program, and we can see we defined one numbers variable, and here we have defined the list. And the first variable is actually a list of numbers, a list of integer values, right? And we can put the multiple values or multiple numbers in a list like this syntax. The list starts with a square bracket, and here we can write the multiple values separating by comma, and here it will close by the square bracket. So this is how we can form list in Python. And here in the second variables names, and it is containing multiple names. So here we can see we can store a list of numbers, and as well as we can store the list of names or list of string inside, right? If we see the third line, here is the mixed variable, and we are defining some random data inside it. Like this 25 is an integer number, hello is a string, true is a boolean number, and 3.14 is a floating point number. That means we can mix the data type in a single list. Okay, so let's print this list. For example, let's print the first list. Okay, so yeah, here we can see we printed 3 lists of this above, and save this program and just run python pylist.py. So we can see exactly the same output as it is. It does not make sense so much. Let's moving forward, accessing the list elements. Okay, so here we can see in this example the numbers is a list of numbers. Okay, and here we are printing or we are accessing the first element and the last element. So here in the VS Code we have one number list as well. Now we want to access the first value or first element or first item of this number list, and also the last element of this number list. So how we can do it? Just print numbers, here one square closed bracket, and inside here we will put the index of the list. So here in the digital system where it is about the index, it always start from 0. Okay, so this 0 is meaning the first element of this list. If we put 1 here, that means the index of one of number variables or number list. So here if we put 1, that means the second element of this list. So like this we can access the items in a list. Let's print this program. So we can see 10, because here in the number variables the first item or the value of 0 index is 10. So how can we access the last item? So here print numbers -1. Okay, the -1 indicating that accessing this list from the last. So like this way you can access this list from first to last, and also you can access from the last. The last index is -1. So the value of -1 index is 50, and the value of -2 index is 40. So here if we run this program again, we can see 10 for 0 index and 40 for -2 index. Alright, the next section is slicing a list. Here if we see we have a numbers list of 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Say for example we want to take one list of first 2 elements. Okay, so how we can do this? If we put just 0 and here we put colon, and here say for example 2. So what it will happen? Let's run this program, and for this one we can see 10 and 20, right? So this 0 is actually indicating the starting index, and this 2 is actually indicating the position of the in range. It's not the index. So you have to remember that For slicing a list, the first is indicating the index number and the second number is indicating the position of the in range, not the index. So here 1, 2. So this 2 position is actually printed here, right? Here if we put, say for example 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will print from 10 to 40, correct? Okay. So let's run this program. We can see 10, 20, 30, 40. So this 50 is actually excluded because it's not in the slice range. Alright. We can also define the start range as well. Say for example 2. So this 2 is actually indicating that the index of 2. So 0, 1, 2. So it will print and it will print because this is the position 4. Okay. So now let's run this program and see, we can see 30 and 40. Okay. Alright. Now we can also slice a list from last, like -2 and -1. So this -2 is actually indicating this -1, -2, and the in range is -1. That means this one. So if we run this program, here we can see only 40 because -2 is indicating this 1, but it is actually indicating the index, initial index here, like the first one. So it will not include this one. So always it will take from the next number or next value. Okay. Now if we put something like -10 or -1, so this is out of range, right? Because -10 there is no items. So if we run this program, it is going to actually take from the 10 because -10 having no values. But if we do the positive index like 0 to 10 and if we print this, so here also it is going to take till the end. Alright. Now in the next we will learn about the list methods. Here we can see numbers.append 60. That means adding new item to a list, inserting new item in a position or in an index number, removing one number or one item from the list, and then popping a value from the last item and also carry this value inside the variable and then sorting the list and reversing the list. Let's copy this program. Okay. And we will put here inside this program and we will remove all this other list and we'll just work with the number list. Okay. Here this numbers.append 60 will add a new item in this list. So if we print this number variable here, okay, so what it will happen, it will show the 60 in the list. So let's remove this print from here. So just run this program. We can see new one item added 60 at the end, right? Okay. So here now if we print here, say for example the numbers, if we print, so this number.insert is actually pushing or inserting this 25 value at the position number 2. So let's run this program. So if you see 10, 20 and 25, so it's actually placed after position number 2, right? So it's actually works like this way. Or also you can say it will be inserted at the index number 2. If you notice that this 25 actually placed at the index number 2, like 0, 1, 2. You can say this with both ways. Okay. All right. Then after then we are removing the number 40 from here, right? So if we print this number from here now, so numbers, now from this list this 40 will be removed. Let's see. So if you see the third print actually removed with 40. So the last print, the 40 has been removed, right? Okay. Now again let's print here, print numbers. Here this pop function, what it will do, it will remove the last item from this list. So here just print the numbers and if we just hit enter and it will remove the last item. All right. And then the final things is the reversing the number. The next method is sorting the number. So print numbers. So here if we see, if we run this program, it is actually 10, 20, 25, 30, 50. So it is actually same as above. So how we can test it? Let's randomize these numbers. Here put 50 and here put 30. Okay, so this is a random list of number. This is not a ordered list. And if we run this program, you can see this randomized list printed here. Here you can see exactly this randomized list of number actually placed here, but at the last print it's actually sorted out like 10, 20, 25, 30, 50. Okay, so it is actually sorted. Now the last method is the reverse method. If we just print these numbers here, okay, and if we run this program, so we can see the reverse of the sorted list, right? Okay, now finally the next section is iterating through a list. In earlier classes we learned about the for loop, and we used the range function to iterate over for loop. Here we can iterate the list using the for loop very easily, and this is the most useful feature of this for loop. And this is the most useful cases and most used cases for list or kind of collection, and that is being used for the for loop in Python. And this is the most used case in Python for loop with some collection of data like the list. Okay, so let's copy this program and paste into our program file here. All right. Okay, here we can see the fruits, and here also we can see the list of fruits, and that means the list of string. And we can iterate this fruits variable or fruits list using this for loop. Okay, so the syntax is for fruit in fruits. So this is singular and this is plural. So for fruit in fruits, print I like fruit. So every time this loop will iterate, it will take from the first to last, and it will iterate the loop until the items are finished in this list. So this loop will iterate for 3 times, because in this fruits variable there are 3 fruits assigned, right? So let's count this also. Say for example, count equal 0, and here print count, and here count plus = 1. That means every time it will iterate, it will increase the count, and finally it will print the count in the terminal. Also it will say I like the fruit. So every time it will iterate the loop, this variable will contain exactly the same value in the current item. Okay, let's run this program, and we can see I like apple, count 1, I like banana, count 2, and finally I like mango, count 3. So that means this loop will iterate until this item is finished or completed. Alright, you have some homework for practicing all of this. The first homework is create a list of 5 favorite movies and then print them one by one using a loop. So this is exactly same like this one. So you just have to take the list of 5 movies. Okay. The second homework is make a list of 10 numbers and print the largest and smallest number using the max and min. Okay. So for this point, you have to research online or Google or something, or research something to get it out and experiment yourself. So it will make your knowledge solid. Thank you.